Hi, I'm Jeff Earll, product manager for pipe, valves, fittings, and anything hydraulic. And what I'm here today to talk to you about is a product line actually from Sherry Cook, but it's used widely in my product category, and that would be pipe fittings. As you can see, we've got an array of Teflon tape here, and what we want to do is just go over what Teflon tape is used for, why it's used, why all these colors do we have here, and what applications we have, and then show you how to install Teflon tape properly. So let's talk about why we have so many different colors here of Teflon tape. And basically for each application is what you're going to use a different color for. For instance, the silver Teflon tape, or PTFE tape, or some people do call it plumber's tape, is designed for stainless steel applications, stainless steel pipe fittings. The food industry would use something like this, you would see. And it has nickel plating or nickel flakes inside of it, which helps with corrosion and marring of the threads. So anytime you talk to a food manufacturer or anyone running stainless, you might want to just take that with you, show it to them, and have them understand, what that tape is used for. Let's go ahead and move on to the yellow tape here. Once again, it is a Teflon tape, like the silver. Once again, it is a high density, but we use this for the gas market. We use it for propane, we use it for natural gas, properties like that. And you wonder what would be the difference between the stainless and this? It's the color itself. In other words, when you're talking to people that are using natural gas or any flammable gas in the industry, and some of the building codes even specify, and some regulations do specify that you have to use yellow in those applications, is because they like to see those lines basically tagged out as propane or a flammable gas. They know those connections, they know those lines. You have the natural gas and the flammable gas. The pink tape, standard plumber's tape is what this is. And where I like to use this on is that once again, it's a high density Teflon tape is what it is. And when you use the pink tape, the ideal applications for this would be any pipe fitting that is 1/2 inch and above. You go into the standard low density type of Teflon tape, and everyone uses this out there for just about anything. But when you get to the higher sizes or bigger sizes in the industry, I suggest going to a high density tape. You won't have to put nearly as many wraps around it than you would with this here. It provides a better sealant. It picks up the voids in those threads a little bit better. So like I said, anything 1/2 inch and above, I certainly would go with the pink tape, which is a high density type of tape. Let's go on to your white tape here. And this is just basically your standard Teflon tape. I always like to use white for colors of pneumatics, any type of pneumatic system. Once again, the high density I would use on pipe fittings 1/2 inch and above. And it's just a general purpose Teflon tape for pipe fittings 1/2 inch and above. And like I said, I like color coordinating things. The industry too, white would identify that it is pneumatic system or air system. And the last one I want to talk about is the one that everyone out there, every maintenance guy has seen before. And this is what the low density Teflon tape is. And you can see it's very thin. Its properties are PTFE, just like the high density, but it does very flimsy. Once again, I would probably only use this for 1/4, 3/8 pipe sizes. Go with the high density, or suggested to go into high density on 1/2 inch and above. But it is Teflon tape, and like I said, it's probably the norm in the industry. For considerations, take a 2-inch pipe size, you've got to wrap this probably 10 or 15 times around that pipe fitting before you get a good seal on it. So it makes sense to go with something high density for that product line. Basically, like I said, talk to your customer, which Teflon tape they're using, and maybe use the sales flyer and show them the difference in what each one does. I just think this is a great sales tool for anyone out there to show a customer and get their opinion on what they're using and how they can possibly even better what they're using. But one of the things I wanted to get into is, we talked about Teflon tape for pipe fittings like this here, why it's used, where it's used, and everything else. But there is one thing I want to bring to your attention, and that would be hydraulic fittings themselves. When we're talking about hydraulic fittings, you go to any school in hydraulics, and the worst thing they're going to say you could put on threads is Teflon tape. I cannot tell you how many times I've seen people use Teflon tape in a hydraulic system. They think they have it on perfect, but all of a sudden some of that Teflon tape gets down into the fluid passages. It just creates so much havoc in a hydraulic system with Teflon tape. The servos, your filters get plugged up. So do not ever use Teflon tape for a hydraulic application. Even pipe thread and hydraulic applications, you do not want to use Teflon tape. What you want to use is like a Loctite 5245 sealant, which is more of a pipe dope, and it's designed for hydraulic systems. So just to clarify, air systems, water, yes. Hydraulics, definitely not a good application or suggested that you use it. Though I will say a lot of people in the industry do use it, but it's certainly not my suggestion. You can make that to anybody. I tell you what, with that in mind, let's just go ahead and get right into installing Teflon tape and how it's done. And this is going to be a great video to show a customer, or you can do it yourself. It's not hard, just a few things to remember. But you'd be surprised how many people out in the industry, maintenance people, that just do it the wrong way. So let's go back out there and install some Teflon tape on this fitting.